What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. I'm super pumped. We've got this gorgeous woman joining us here today. She's a clinical psychologist turned transformational life coach for women. Please welcome Amanda Hanson. Amanda, thank you for joining us today. We finally made it work. Woo woo.
Thank you, Deanna, for having me on. I think that the third time is always a charm. We've had construction over here. You were sick. So this is our third attempt. Here we go.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Well, I am a total fan. I'm digging your Instagram. Like, it is just awesome. And I love what you're all about. So why don't we get into that? Because you are about revolutionizing midlife and redefining women's approach in their 40s to limitless possibilities.
Yes, absolutely. I think in the culture that we are so deeply steeped in, we talk about it being difficult for 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds in regards to toxic beauty culture and the image that they have to try to keep up with. And I'm seeing, as I'm approaching, I'm going to be 50 this year, and I'm seeing it infiltrate my social circles where it seems to be almost a main part of the conversation, where women are talking about, I can't believe I'm turning 50. This is so scary. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to get the sagging lines on my neck is looking old. My face is doing this. How many injectables are you getting? And I just feel like in the last couple of years, I have felt so disappointed. To be honest, I have felt so disappointed that this is the crux of so much of the focus and the conversation.
Yeah.
Because from where I stand, I feel like there's such bigger conversations to be had. There's so much more work to do in this world than worrying about how we're looking. And for me, it's really the double standard in aging, where men are revered and celebrated. The older they get, the more distinguished, they become the silver fox. And we as women are punished for being human. And we are put down and considered less than if our belly is bloated, if we have tired looking eyes, if we show one sunspot or wrinkle, God forbid, we've lived. Yeah. And I really am now deciding, you know what, ladies, this shit's on us. Mm-hmm. If we keep opening our pocketbooks and playing into the system, we can't also then turn around and complain about how difficult it is to keep up with a system that we are playing a part of, upholding.
Yeah, that's very powerful. And I love that approach. I mean, you're stunningly gorgeous. I mean, I love it. I saw that you posted something about your hair and you're beautiful. But I feel like you coming to terms with that and being like this, this light at this, for at the end of the tunnel for some women is kind of just making you glow from the inside out. So
yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yes, you're exactly right. I have a whole bunch of people asking me. I went, for about the last 3 days, I went viral on TikTok, well over 1 million views. It's like going out of control. I have sponsorships reaching out to me now. All this crazy stuff is happening. But what I can tell you is the two themes I saw, actually, there were probably 3 themes, but one of the main themes was women in midlife flocking. I can't even keep up with the message. It's well beyond anything I can handle in my own capacity. Women saying, thank you. Thank you. You are the role model we've been looking for. It's exhausting. We're tired. We want to put down the sword. We want to stop fighting. We just want to enjoy our lives and stop trying to chase a constantly moving target. And isn't the issue deeper? Isn't it bigger? Isn't it supposed to be more beautiful? Because I believe aging is a spiritual journey, right? And so I don't want to mute the physical part because I feel like I can't have access to the spiritual part if I'm doing that. And then I had tons of 20 and 30-year-olds saying to me, oh my gosh, I wish you were my mom. Because what I realized is our young girls, they need a leader. Yeah. They need a mother. They don't want to look to a mother who is also picking herself apart in the mirror, so worried about aging. These girls want to lean back and just live and take some of the energy and focus off of how they look. And so I got the sense the world really needs a mother right now. These young girls need a mom.
Yeah. Well, I would agree. I mean, there's a lot of things that the world needs right now, but that I think to create a positive self-image, that's something women have been fighting against from the beginning of time, right? And as we've gotten more into, I value my looks, but I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm very proud to say I'm 45, I mean, I do take care of myself. I think being healthy, your wellness, taking supplements, I think that's all part of even I take collagen because I think it's important for your skin, your joints, your hair, your nails. I believe in all those things. Do I get injections? Yes, I do. Am I crazy about it? No. When I can afford it, when it fits into my schedule, sure, I'm going to go get a little Botox here and there, just to age it. But I don't want to look plastic, where some of these women go the other way. And it's just like, whoa, you look a little scary.
And I'm not even like, I have zero judgment about what people decide to do. I just want to offer a different conversation.
Yeah.
I want to offer a different perspective, because when it's assumed at 20s and, early 30s, you're going to start getting, this is what young girls are telling me. Well, I'm starting now for preventative measures. And I say, sweetheart, preventative for what?
Yeah.
There's no reversing the sign. You're aging no matter what. And so I just want to propose a different conversation. I want to be the light for a different possibility of true freedom, of what it could feel like. And no judgment. Every woman's going to choose for herself what works best. I just think that to not have this conversation at all also does the disservice. And because I live so deeply, like sensually embodied and passionate about the power I feel at this time in my life, I thought it would be almost, I don't know, it feels scandalous to kind of hoard it to myself. So I've decided to walk into the world and say, ladies, do you want to radiate from the inside out? Here's how we do it.
Yeah.
It's all about purpose. It's about passion. It's about desire. It's about meaning in your life. Let me show you how to be more intimate with yourself, your partners, your passions, your purpose in the world. That's actually the glow. The glow comes from the soul, not from, what cream are you using? How many times a day or a week do you exfoliate? It's an internal job.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. You got to find that happiness within and accepting and loving of yourself. And, I think there are different levels of how women can get there, whatever their belief system is around, taking care of themselves. But that's definitely, I know from when I can remember, my grandmother was 30 or 25 for as long as I can remember until she died. She was still 25 years old. She never wanted to talk about her age. And my mom is the same way. And so as I've gotten older, I'm like, I don't embrace that same mentality, because I've loved growing old, but I also really love who I am and how I feel on the inside. I embrace my sex. I think a woman is sexy. I love the woman's body. I saw your post or your story with the candle that you had and the body chain. I was like, yes, girl, I'm here for it. Where can I get that candle?
Exactly. Well, as a matter of fact, it's from Sassy Bee Candles. It's called Coochie. And it has literally a pussy inside.
I love it. Oh, no, I'm getting it.
Yes.
And so actually I have a question, because I understand the importance of it. Why do you think it's important for women to have something that and celebrate it around them?
I have what? Can you say again?
The candle. I think it's very symbolic of how a woman feels about herself. Why do you think that's important to have that around you and just be proud of that?
That's a great question, because I think that in the super heavily steeped patriarchal culture, if we don't infuse our surroundings and our daily lifestyle with more feminine energy, there's a lot of messaging that makes us feel shame about being a woman, right? You go to the CVS or Walgreens, there's 1,000,001 products that will remind women of how they smell. They need to buy these things to change the way they smell. When I see a beautiful pussy candle sitting on my desk when I'm working, I'm like, oh, that's right. That's right. I'm a pussy haver and I'm so damn proud of it. Right. And so no one's going to shame me, because I'm allowing the opposite messaging to always infiltrate. Right. Yeah. I have all these beautiful crystals and erotic art everywhere, because I'm not going to buy into this idea that as a woman, I should feel ashamed of my sensuality, especially a woman in midlife. Yeah. The idea of well, okay, grandma, maybe just sit and wait for some grandkids if you're lucky. Don't talk about that stuff. And I'm oh, the best years are just happening for me. Are you kidding? We are talking about it. It is sensual energy, sexual life force energy is everything. It's the reason that any humanity continues is because of women's bodies, because of our erotic art form. And so that is what brings my clients alive. Yeah. That's not going to the salon to get yet another facial and then pick themselves apart in the mirror. It's oh, sister, turn. Let's talk about all the amazing ways you can cultivate turn on and desire for all aspects of your life, not even just sexually. What does it mean to live your life turned on as a woman?
I love that. So what does that mean for you?
It means from the minute I wake up, before I turn on my phone, before I do anything, I go into my bathroom and I look in the mirror at myself and I say, good morning, beautiful. I love you. You are a goddamn miracle.
Yeah.
And then I turn on some music. And while I'm brushing my teeth and brushing my hair, I am dancing for myself.
Yeah.
It is really the ability to presence my day, my words, my morning with myself.
Yeah.
So that when I enter the world, I already have this beautiful coat of beautiful affirmations and words that will carry me through my day. So it really begins with me. And then from that lens, if I start every morning loving myself like that, every palm tree that waves, every bird that flies by, every human I come in contact with, I see the beauty in everything because I saw the beauty in me first. That's like living turned on. So then when it comes time to the bedroom aspect, I've been so turned on from the minute I woke up all day. There is no my husband jokes after 27 years, there's no transition time.
Yeah.
Because I already am living juiced up and turned on for every interaction, for the flirtation with all of humanity, with puppies, with babies, with elderly people, men, women. I'm flirting all day long with humanity, with the presence of being alive, so that I'm fully charged by the time it comes to like personal intimate time, whether it's self-pleasure or with my husband.
What is good, everyone? This is your host, Deanna with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. Can we get a round of applause today? Woo! Today I'm excited to announce Manscape launched their Ultra Premium Collection. Believe it or not, it's for your not so private parts. I'm talking about a leveled up hygiene routine with your favorite manly scent. And let me tell you something, it smells so good. My man wears this every day. This is an all-in-one skin and hair care kit for the everyday man and covers you from head to toe. Manscaped is trusted below the waist. Now trust them with the rest. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com and use the code LABELFREE20 for 20% off and free shipping, and enjoy. And I was reading some of your posts and how embracing this mindset or this belief system for you and for your clients, how it has impacted your relationship, your marriage. Can you talk about the importance of that? Because I think that's very important.
Absolutely. So I was about 12 years ago, I filed for divorce, halfway point of our marriage, because we were living in a marriage that felt a little 1950s to me, right? It's like, I was no longer feeling the passion, the excitement for the relationship. And I was feeling like we had our very separate roles that didn't feel yummy and delicious and expansive and nourishing to me. And so in the very old-fashioned patriarchal structure, I was trying to get needs met. He couldn't meet them. He didn't know how. He thought, well, I'm providing this amazing life for us. Isn't that all that you've ever wanted? Isn't that what a woman wants, is to feel safe and cared for? And when I was like, no, it's more than that. I need the intimacy, like the conversational intimacy, the eye contact, the slowed downness.
Yeah.
So in the last 12 years, I have led him through leading myself. Let me show you what it looks like to be slowed down. Let me show you how eroticism actually works, from the moment we're like making our coffee in the morning to the way we spend our time together in conversation, the way you open the door for me, the way you're present. There's nothing more erotic than a male presence.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so I had to lead him and teach him. That was not something he was taught by his father or his grandfather. So I took the leadership. I think I was waiting. I was in that baby princess energy of like, well, he should just know. And then I grew up and decided, how about you be the queen, Amanda, and you lead him on the path that you want him to follow you on. And that changed everything.
I love that. So there's somebody I follow on Instagram, and he's all about, a healthy masculine figure. And it's one of his last posts was, when masculinity is healthy, it naturally protects and leads. When femininity is healthy, it naturally surrenders and supports. They work together in harmony. And so, either way, you can both take on either of those roles, but a man that's really like tuned into that vulnerable side of him is much more of a man than someone, like walking around on their knuckles all day, like, woo.
Right. Right. Like, I think we're so complex and fascinating as women. We're like my most favorite creatures ever. But I think for a man, it's like, and my husband's finally understood, like he really has learned. But I've had to tell him because also, well, let me say, there's that part of us that wants that really strong, protective male, right? At certain times. But then we also want the male who can just be in the presence of us. And the way I explain it to my husband is like, here's the deal, babe. I am Mother Nature. One day I'm a tornado that is whipping through. You don't have to even have a reaction to it. You don't have to take it personally. You don't have to feel defensive. You just have to witness it. It's just energy that's passing through.
Yes.
The next day I'll be like, this beautiful flower that's just like opening so delicately and gently. And a couple of days later, I'll be a hurricane.
Yeah.
And so in the context of understanding me and interpreting my emotions, because we as women are changing every couple of days because of our cycling, we are meant for flow. So if we are received in the flow energy and we are received as a gorgeous part of Mother Nature, I think the men understand us so much better.
Yeah, that was like beautifully put.
We're just energy. You don't have to like think you did something wrong or that you have to fix this.
Yeah.
Just be like the warrior who can be in the presence of my fury, in the presence of my grief, in the presence of my rage and my sensuality and my celebration. Like, let me feel it all. I think to be a man, that's the most exquisite way to meet a woman's needs.
That was beautiful. I think you need to write that down somewhere and just publish that everywhere. because I agree with you. I think women are amazing. And, I'm a strong woman. Like, I don't let any of that stuff bother me. I'm probably like you, where I'm just like, I embrace my femininity. I think that it's beautiful. No matter what I am and what day, it's still beautiful. All that energy you talked about is beautiful. And it's just the way that it flows through our lives and in our bodies and around us. And, if men particularly can learn how to just embrace that and let it flow through, like, just the energy of your whole environment is so much more clear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So much more embracing and loving and, bendable, like a tree in the wind. Ooh, okay, honey, we're going this way today.
Yes. And I also think that it has allowed my husband to tap into parts of his personality and his emotional range in a way that when we were operating in that really strict, like patriarchal roles, it was different. Like, now he is able to also explore more of like, well, what do you desire? What brings you joy? What enrages you? What breaks your heart? As I lead the emotionality and the temperature of the family, he is able to show up differently, as are all of my kids. And that level of like understanding, what a beautiful privilege that is as women to lead our men. Because I tell you, I talk to men all the time and they're exhausted having to always have it like put together and like the strong role. Like, sometimes they just want to like soften into a woman and like feel held and seen as well. And it's so beautiful to be able to create that.
I'm writing some people I want to introduce you to, actually, that I think would be great for not only your husband, but for you too. So that's obviously been a positive impact on your marriage. And so it's going on 12 years since you guys kind of did that shift.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's changed everything. It's changed our sex life. It's changed our communication. It's changed the level of playfulness.
Yeah.
It's just, and I really had to say to him, like, when I'm having one of those moments or one of those days, or I'm feeling something deeply, I don't need you to rescue me.
Yeah.
The most holy, beautiful, supportive thing you can do is just be there with me.
Yeah.
Right.
Hold me through the storm. That's all I need you to do. Just hold me. You don't need to do anything. It'll pass.
Yes.
Umbrella.
And then it makes me feel less broken that I need fixing. I don't need fixing.
Yeah.
I just need to feel it. And then I'm fine. And that's also the beauty. It's like, the more he was able to presence himself to whatever I was feeling, it moved so much quicker. Yeah. Where before, when he was coming with like fixing energy, or like, well, I'm going to do this, or well, I think if we do this, this will make it better. I think I unconsciously was like raging against that. Like, no, just see it, just feel it, just be with me in this feeling. And now that he's able to do that over the last, decade, it just passes like a ship in the night. It's so beautiful.
think you communicated that perfectly, and how men should handle it. So now that you have experienced this in your own personal life, now you are a life coach for women kind of going through these transformations in their own lives. So how long have you been a coach for women like this?
Well, I've been a clinical psychologist for over 20 years.
Okay.
And during COVID, I decided to step out of the private practice industry because I was starting to understand women were asking me to put groups together and run like conversations, bigger conversations. So when COVID hit, it was this decision, like, do I renew the lease? What do I do? And it allowed for me to start running. I barely knew what Zoom was. I just started running like online programs, like super inexpensively. 20, 60, 80 women were coming.
Wow.
And so it led to this feeling of like, you know what, rather than the armchair psychology where I could just meet with one client an hour, and I still do some of that, right, for women, and I have these 1-year programs, these 1-year journeys that are really deep. But now I have the opportunity to open up these spaces to so many women to be in conversation. I run all kinds of masterminds, all kinds of group programs, because this message, I realized, was really made for the masses. This wasn't just one person at a time anymore. It's bigger than that. And now, especially with going viral a couple of days ago on TikTok, I realize this is really a conversation more women want to have.
Yeah. Well, you've obviously tapped more into your purpose. And it seems like, sometimes it takes us a while to get there, but now that you've tapped into that, and you're going to be a voice for women that really need to hear what you have to say, to encourage them to embrace all these different changes and all this, this feminine power that we have within that. I think that it's going to be amazing for you, and you're going to shoom.
Thank you. I'm so excited. Yes.
Well, that's why we're here today. So I actually saw, before I have you plug all your links, I saw that you're doing like a dinner at your house for 10 women. So tell us about that.
I am. I'm doing it here in my new home in Fort Lauderdale. And this is how like outrageous I am, right? Like I have contractors here as we speak. I moved in 2 weeks ago. My husband's like, you're crazy. Like 6 weeks after we move in, I'm like, but that whole idea for me, even with starting the online business, it's like, there's never a perfect time. Like we have this beautiful space. I have all the candles. I have the chef. I have the wine. I have the conversation.
Yeah.
I have the seats. Let's come together. Because the way I speak, the way I see the world, the way I have this belief that everything is possible in the most sensual, exquisite ways, I just want more women to be able to have access to this. So I decided, you know what, I'm going to do a pop-up dinner, like a super sexy night at my house where it's going to be me and 10 other women to have those conversations, like to really pull back the curtain and talk about all the things that sometimes we're afraid to talk about. We're afraid. And I'm like, come close and ask me everything. I will share everything.
I love it. Well, I'm going to be in Florida from the 24th of May through the 14th. So I might have to swing by for.
Oh, yes. Please do. Please do. I would love that.
Oh my gosh. You are amazing. So I'm going to keep watching you, girl. I'm a total fan. Where can people find you?
So on TikTok and Instagram, I'm Midlife Muse. MUSE, so the Midlife Muse. And I have a private Facebook group for women 40 plus that's called Revolutionizing Midlife. Okay. They can find me there. And then my website is just my name, amandahanson.com.
Well, you're absolutely beautiful. I love everything that you're about. And I'm just excited to be a part of your universe now, and just continue to watch you empower women in a healthy way that will encourage them to embrace what this is all about, and so that it'll be a ripple effect in their lives and the lives of others around them. And it just will continue to go out in the universe. So I'm excited to see that happen. So before we say goodbye, I always like to ask for any last words of wisdom or advice. So you did drop a lot of great stuff already, but what would you like to leave the audience with today?
I would say, however you want to feel, pay attention to like, how do I want to feel every day? Then you create that feeling by the very first thoughts you have when your eyes open, the very first words you say to yourself in the mirror. We have that power. Yeah. We have the power. Don't wait for someone else to tell you. Don't wait for a podcast to tell you. Don't wait for a book to tell you. Don't wait for a partner. You tell you, and then allow yourself to move with that energy all day long. And within 30, 60, 90 days, your nervous system and your cells and the water literally inside of your body will start to recode itself for that beautiful messaging. your entire life will change.
Woo! Yes. With that being said, Amanda, thank you so much for being such a dynamic guest and dropping all of these beautiful insights and wisdom and all that great stuff. You guys, all of her links will be in the show notes. So go connect with her, go follow her, go see what she's all about. If you're interested in learning more, go to her website. I can assure you, you will not be disappointed on following her, at least on Instagram and TikTok. I got to go find her on TikTok now. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my gosh, it's my pleasure. You guys, this is your host, Deanna Radulescu with Label Free Podcast. Live your best life. You must live label free. To learn more or to follow, go to all of my pages, website, follow, comment, share, review, all that good stuff. And I'll be back soon with more dynamic guests.